everybody, it's Bob Huesler from The Fan. Coming up next, it's Locked Up Sports on 365sportscast.com.
Everybody, this is Don LaGreca from The Michael K. Show. When it comes to talking sports, Bob Walters and Brett Grasso are the authority.
He took a home run away from Roland, trying to get back to first Edmonds. He's doubled off, and the inning is over. Andy Chavez saved the day. Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied. Bing bong. Anthony for three. Puts it in. Knicks by one with 8.2 remaining. Ball game over. Yankees win.
Giants to the Super Bowl. Snap is good. Kick on its way. Engelbrandt, does it have the distance? It is good. Yeah. Lawrence Tynes has kicked the Giants to the Super Bowl.
The Giants have won the Super Bowl. Can't wait.
When it comes to talking sports, they're the authority. It's Bob Walters and Brett Grasso. It's Locked Up Sports, and it starts now.
Bring them out, hey. Bring them out, bring them out, yeah. Bring them out, hey. Bring them out.
Here we go. Bob Walters, Brett Grasso, from the Brian Gunzel Studios. This is Locked Up Sports. Brett, welcome to the show.
What's up, Bob?
Thought we were going to be coming on talking about a Mets win. We were going to get to the Mets in a second, as we are currently watching here. We're a little bit ahead of you guys, so it's 4-3 Mets, and Michael Givens is blowing this one. He's going to have to work himself out of a jam. But we got a lot to do today. We got Mets Old Timers Day coming up. We will be going there tomorrow. We got a big interview tomorrow morning,
wait
another
for that
show.
one.
We got a lot going on. Basketball.
Ed Lynch tomorrow.
Tonight, Frank Russo. So tonight we got the U.S. Open coming into town. Love the U.S. Open. Serena Williams is going to be her last chance, I guess, to tie the record.
She says it's the last professional matches, right?
Well,
last tournament?
That's what she says. So we got our tennis expert, former St. John's tennis coach, Frank Russo. Frank, what's up, Frankie?
How you doing, boys?
What's up? So now me and Brett are on different. Let's go right with Serena. Me and Brett are on different things. I think she's ranked 608th in the world, but that's because she doesn't play anymore. Does she have a chance at a miracle run here to take this thing?
No.
Do you expect her out in the first week?
Well, let's put it this way. I would take 15 to 20 women easy off the top before I took Serena. Serena, she hasn't played. The last time out, she didn't look great. She was battling injuries. She's busy with the family. She's busy doing other ventures. I would be shocked if she made it a deep run third round, to be honest.
Does she not have the stamina? Like, is it just not having enough practice? You know, you really have to grind to get there, or...
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's a little bit of a lot of things, if that makes sense. I think she's been focused on a lot of other things. She hasn't been playing. She hasn't been practicing. She's just. It's tough to come in and just be sharp. Right now, at last check, Serena, believe it or not, you can get at plus 5,000.
To win the tournament?
On a $100 bet to win the tournament, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that might be worth laying 100 down. But I mean, like you said, you're the expert. I could just, you know what I can see? I can see him making a Jimmy Connors type run, like he did late in his career into the quarters, something like that. Nobody expected that either.
Well, yeah, very true. That's very true. But I look, there's a name I'm going to give you. Okay, Iga Swiatek. It could be the next Serena Williams.
Give it to us. Who was it? One more time.
Swiatek.
Iga Swiatek. She's burying people.
Yeah.
She's certainly my favorite to win the tournament. And maybe even like, you know, to be honest, a distant second would be Simona Halep. I don't think Serena really has a shot. And the form that Iga's been in, she's been nailed lately. Just totally lights out. Obviously the crowd, I'm sure, will be behind Serena. They'll also be behind Coco Gauff.
Yeah. She's going to get...
I think Coco...
Also, Serena's going to get a primetime match every time she plays on center court.
She will, Bob, but here's the thing. She's also going to get a brutal draw because she hasn't been playing. So she could very well end up... I have not looked at the draw in particular. I know her
she's in the bottom half. She's in the bottom half. Swiatek is in the top half. She's got her first match is against... See, I'm going to tell you right here. I don't even know if you had known the player. But Danka Kovanic. Serena plays opening night. She's in that opening night, 7 o'clock, the primetime matchup. She got Danica Kovic, Kovinic. Did you ever try to pronounce these women's tennis players' names?
Well, I'll tell you what. There's quite a few in there who I would take before Serena with some fancy names. I'll tell you. So Arina Sabalenka. She would probably be in the top 5. I think she's currently inside the top 5. I think she has a shot at winning it. Rybakina, she made a run in the last tournament. You have Bencic and Raducanu. The two Americans that I think could make deep runs are Coco Gauff and Jess Pegula.
Now, what happened to Osaka? Why did Osaka just fall off the face of the earth after winning multiple slams, looking like she was going to have a big career ahead of her, make a lot of runs, be the heir apparent to Serena? Osaka just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Well, I think Osaka's thing is or her crutch, essentially, for lack of a better term, is more between her ears than her play.
Yeah, she's had some mental health issues that she's talked about in recent years.
I think she's shy. I think that's part of it. I think she's very shy. She doesn't like public speaking. She's got to speak in front of these crowds. I think that has something to do with it. I think she kind of thinks about that during the match.
Well, I don't know about during the match, but I happen to agree with you because, look, you play in these majors and you have, pre-match and post-match obligations with the media, right? And Osaka's made it clear that she doesn't like it. She doesn't prefer that. She doesn't want to do that, right? And on these grand stages like the U.S. Open, okay, the New York media wants to talk to her. She obviously had the situation over in France she really hasn't played very well since she had that breakdown. And like I said, I'm not so positive it's her play per se. I think it's what's going on in between Naomi's ears, and I think she'll be a crowd favorite, and the crowd will be behind her and certainly rooting for her. And she's a feel-good story. I think every American that we've spoken about, Gauff, Pegula, and Osaka, all will make deeper runs than Serena.
Now, what about Madison Keys? She always plays well in this tournament. She's played well lately. She's number 20 in the world. Can Madison Keys make some noise here?
I mean, look, Keys right now, you could get a 29-1. Madison Keys, she's like Jekyll and Hyde. I feel like sometimes, she'll make runs, quarters, semis, third round, fourth round. She'll have good runs, and then other times she'll disappear. I don't, if you wanted a long shot, I'm not positive that I would go there. Ons Jabeur is uber crafty, but her game is not really suited for the hard courts at the Open. So I would probably stay away from her. But if you wanted a long shot, Bencic, Raducanu, Pegula, all 24-1. I think they're worth a play. But in reality, I really think it comes down to Swiatek, to Iga, and to Simona Halep, and the rest of the field. It's kind of a coin flip. Now, look, if something happens to where Iga gets knocked out early, then it's wide open. It's similar to the men's draw, because Djokovic is not playing, where it's more wide open, and you could find someone from the bottom sort of to make a run.
Yeah, but is anybody going to be? I mean, is this just a 2-week coronation for Nadal?
No. Look, Nadal, he could certainly make a run, right? There's no reason why Nadal can't make a run. But look, here's the thing: is that Medvedev is very tough on the hard court. To me, I would take Daniil Medvedev a slight favorite over Rafa right now. But you got the young kid Carlos Alcaraz. He is the next superstar on the men's side.
What's his
Carlos Alcaraz. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say the name again for us. Carlos
Alcaraz.
Alcaraz, you know what though? He's all right, and he is. He's a star, but he doesn't perform well in these majors, right? He made the one major final. What was that? Did he make in Australia? Did he make the final?
He made a run in Australia.
He won. Okay. So now I'm thinking.
No, he didn't win it.
No, he didn't. He made the final. He made the final and lost.
Right.
But
he's 19 or 20 years old, right? Carlos Alcaraz is, I believe he's still 19.
I see him like the Canadian. Who was the Canadian that never panned out? Raonic.
Shapovalov?
No, Raonic.
Oh, Raonic?
Raonic is that he's a disappointment every year.
Totally different games, right? Alcaraz has an all-court game, okay? He's super quick, okay? He plays from the baseline mostly, but he's not afraid to come forward. Raonic is a totally different player. He's a guy who he'll peg the first serve at 140. He's got a big serve. He has a tough time breaking. He can't, when guys can get his serve back into play, okay, Raonic has issues. Alcaraz is an all-court type of guy. Alcaraz, and I know this is saying a lot and maybe pushing the envelope a little bit, but Alcaraz, I see a lot of Nadal, except as a righty. Alcaraz is tough, and he's going to be around for a long time. I would be I would be shocked if Alcaraz doesn't make a run here.
Now, what about Kyrgios? Kyrgios, is he just a lunatic that's never going to get it together?
Give us something on the head case, Nick Kyrgios. You got a chance at making a run here or what?
Look, here's my thing about Kyrgios, okay? I believe Nick Kyrgios currently is the best thing for men's tennis, okay? Nick Kyrgios, he's controversial, he's loud.
He's good looking. My wife loves him.
Yeah, he's good looking. Look, he's super athletic and he's uber talented. But Nick Kyrgios' big thing his entire career is, truth be told, he'd rather sit at home and play PlayStation.
But and he's made it too. Nadal did that too.
Yeah, he just won't train. He refuses to put in the effort or real stuff, right?
Nadal would rather beat you in a game of FIFA than win the U.S. Open.
Hold on. Let's not question. Let's not question Rafa's dedication to. Kyrgios' dedication has always been his crutch, okay? However, lately, he put it together at Wimbledon. He made the final. He lost to Djokovic, and he gave him a headache in final, right? Okay, now he's got the girlfriend. It looks like he's settled down a little bit. It looks like he's finally settled down as far as who he's got in his corner. Rumor has it he's putting more time in and effort on the practice court. He's fitter than he's ever been. And truth be told, you can't teach 135, 140, and the guy's been serving lights out. So
it's amazing what a little money will do. With a little money, you're like, you know what? That was nice. We only got a small window here, and someone finally got in his head and told him all the right things, I think, and it clicked. And I don't know if it was just the accountant, but someone did. It might not have been the tennis coach.
Right. It could be the girl. Who knows? Yeah. I don't know. But
that's the accountant usually.
And you're right. And here's the thing: is that everyone wants to see him play. If you have an opportunity to go next week and watch Nick Kyrgios, that's the guy you want.
Yeah, I loved watching him. I really enjoy it. Watching him is just a totally different thing.
Frank, you're coming with
me.
You're coming with me, Frank. You're coming with me next week.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, let's go next week.
Absolutely.
Let's go. And you'll see Carlos Alcaraz and Nick Kyrgios, to me, are the two best watches right now on the men's tour. But I would be remiss. I want to give you a couple of names of guys who could make runs that are long shots here, okay?
Yeah.
Yannick Sinner, 18-1. Kid is uber talented. He's in his early 20s. He made a run at the last major. Yannick Sinner, okay?
He's good.
Mario Berrettini, serve Italian, tough on the hard courts, made a run last year at the Open. Okay, you can get him right now at 29-1.
Had to throw an Italian on that one. Had to throw an Italian.
Yeah, well,
He's not gonna-
You squeezed it in there like we weren't going to notice.
Okay, and then one other guy I'm going to give you from the woods. Okay, Borna Koric just won Cincinnati. He beat Tsitsipas in the final. Okay, the kid's been playing like that. We can get him at 36-1 right now. Okay, do I think he's got a shot to win it? Probably not.
Koric?
He just won. Yeah, Borna Koric. He just made the final of Cincinnati, and he beat Tsitsipas in the final. But gun to head, Medvedev, Nadal, and Alcaraz are the top three guys. And to be honest, I might put Nadal third in that list.
Now, I got two more for you, and then that's it. I got one, will we ever see Federer play again? And two, I don't know if you can answer this to me, but it's always driven me crazy. Why does the U.S. Open hold the biggest match of the year, the men's final, on the opening week of the Sunday NFL season?
Bob, I'll tell you what. That second question, literally, it rips me to no end. Why they do that, I couldn't tell you. I don't know who advised them to do that. It is a terrible idea. And truth be told, the first day of the NFL, everyone's glued to
You don't stand a chance against the preseason NFL.
No.
Forget about the first week. Forget it. And they play that 4 o'clock match every year. On the first week of the NFL, you don't stand a chance.
You would lose to the sports
Bob,
reporters on Sunday NFL first week. You're not even going to compete.
Look, Bob, I got to tell you, I agree with you wholeheartedly. But anyone who is not, I just want to put this, anyone who has not been to the Open that asks me about the Open, right? All they talk about is Federer and Nadal and Serena and all the big names and Arthur Ashe. If you haven't been to the U.S. Open and you're going to go, I'm going to tell you right now, go buy a day pass and go to one of the first 4 days, okay?
You'll get some great matches.
Sit front row and watch guys and gals top 25 in the world, and it's first come, first serve. And
great.
You can go watch whoever you want.
And that's why I'm going with Frank, because now listen, I love going to the U.S. Open with my wife. I take her to the prime time. We get a prime time. We get decent seats. They're expensive, but we get decent seats. And we sit there and we watch, Federer or Nadal win, 6-2, 6-1, 6-1, 6-1, 6-2. Now, I'll go with Frank, and we're gonna go sit in these side courts, and you'll see like great 5-set matches that go 4 or 5 hours, great matches, and that's what tennis fans do.
I just don't understand why I'm not invited. It's just weird that you guys keep insisting it's just gonna be you two. I don't get it.
Brett, you're invited, but you got to go to Ash.
Yeah. Let's go into the night game. Brett's not a tennis fan. That's why.
Listen, do you get me one of those boxes where they bring out a little champagne? Well, I'm not a tennis fan. Don't start. I've watched. No. Those are you're like.
Brett, I'm waking up at 3 in the morning to watch the Australian
I have no
Open.
doubt you guys are up there, but I'm a big tennis fan. Trust me. Any sport at its highest level, I will be there watching. If you can tell me in person, and then after we can catch a Mets day game at the same time, let's do it.
It's great.
Look, I'll tell you what. I learned a long time ago. I appreciate hockey now more than ever because I actually went to a game live and was able to see the actual speed and size.
Right.
Okay, the speed of the game and the size of the players. The thing about tennis that's going to shock people when you first go, the first time you go, is the speed of the game and the agility of to watch a guy
spin on the ball.
That's true with us. Right. I remember as kids, and you were playing in high school, and I would play tennis. You can just hang around and hit the balls, and that'll be fine. And I remember me and you going down to the water and playing real tennis, and you knew how to really play tennis at this point, and you were just crushing serves. And I'm looking at going, I don't even know, to see that, and that's at the most basic of a high schooler, a guy who's going to be a pretty significant college athlete and a coach in the future, I cannot imagine what it's like to take a serve after serve of these people. It's insane.
Just so
no,
okay, again.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, what I was going to say is I was trying to explain just the other day, right? Somebody asked me about Wimbledon and about how they don't understand how you can't break serve. And I tried to explain to them, try going on an ice hockey rink, okay, because that's essentially the grass is skids and the ball stays low, right? That's why the big servers do so well.
And it's dirt.
Wimbledon,
By the third day, it's dirt.
Okay, right. And now stand behind the baseline. You stand as far as you want, okay? And imagine 135 or 140 coming at you. You have to guess. But here's the thing. Yeah. To break him, okay, you have to guess right 4 times. And not only guess right 4 times, but now you have to play out the point and win the point, right? 4 times. So it's so difficult to break these guys when they're serving that once a break is done, these guys that are very good or have big serves, you could chalk up that set. It's over.
A lot of them will give up the set. A lot of them will be like, okay, I got to break. I'm not going to waste my energy here trying to get back in the set. I'm going to go back. I'm going to take it next set.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. But if I could give any advice to the listeners, is that if you've never been to the Open, go get a day pass and go to one of the first 4 days.
It's one of my favorite times of the year. Open, NCAA tournament, Big East tournament, stuff like that is great, especially in New York here. But anyway, Frank, we did 21 minutes on tennis. That's way too long. So we will see you tomorrow, right?
Old Timers Day tomorrow, Frankie.
See you at Old Timers Day tomorrow, boys.
Doc Gooden's on the mound tomorrow. Don't forget, last time you're ever going to see something like that.
Yeah, a bunch of old timers at Old Timers Day.
Sounds good.
All right, Frank. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for you, Frank. See you tomorrow. I'll call you later, Frank. I'll call you later. Later. All right, so that Frank Russo. Thank you to Frank Russo for that. Interesting stuff. Listen, and he's 1,000% right. If you haven't been to the U.S. Open, go to the U.S. Open. It's great. You don't need a ton of money. People think it's expensive. It is. If you're eating sushi and stuff, you can go pretty cheap for a day pass.
Don't go if you're getting sushi. Bottom line, if your plan is to go and you're like, I was like, you know what, I got to get there and have the sushi, just stay home.
Yeah, go if you're a tennis fan. Watch the tennis. The tennis is great.
Either way, get a nice expensive drink.
So while we were talking with Frank, like I said, we are about a little. Right now, it's what is it? It's 10 o'clock right now. So the Mets got a run in the bottom of the 8th to tie the game against Colorado. It's now 6-6. The Yankees have gotten back on track since last time we spoke with you. So the Mets Old Timers weekend coming up. Brett, what do you got for us?
Old Timers weekend. What do I got? We got a big interview with Ed Lynch tomorrow.
Ed Lynch.
Former Mets pitcher who was on the team, has a 1986 ring, but was traded midseason in 1986.
Traded midseason. He was also the Cubs GM.
Yep.
Listen, it's going to be a good interview. I'm excited to talk to him.
He's pitching tomorrow.
He's pitching tomorrow. Yeah. He's pitching tomorrow.
Yeah.
He said he's going to. I heard somewhere that he said he wanted to face Strawberry.
We'll see.
We'll confirm that. But we're going to have him before he laces him up and gets back out on the field. It's going to be a good day out at Citi Field.
We'll be there. We'll be there all day.
We'll be there. I owe Brett some money. But so Diaz is in now to hold the Rockies. It's 6-6, top 9. By the time you listen to this, the game will be over. Hopefully the Mets will have won. Now the Yankees, let's go with the Yankees to start here. The Yankees have kind of righted the ship a little bit, like I kind of figured they were. Everybody was in panic mode last week when we were doing the show. They had lost. The Blue Jays were only 8 back. The Yankees won 4 in a row. They're against the A's. They're going to win tonight. They blew them out. It was 13-3 or something right off the bat last night.
Those 2 games versus the Mets were very important for them. It was really not about, I think they could have split and it would have been good enough, but the fact that could they get up for those games? Did they have the energy? Were they able to show? Because those are big games. And if you lose those 2 games, it would have been, again, they're still going to make the playoffs. I think it would have actually shown but them winning those 2 games looks like it has given them a little spark. They do have some stuff going on. It looks like Cortez is going to be out. Just went on the injured list.
They got lucky with the Mets. I mean, listen, the Yankee fans are going to give me a hard time for this. They got lucky that the Mets pulled DeGrom and decided to pitch Walker. He pitched okay.
Yeah.
But they got lucky because it's a tough task to beat Scherzer and then DeGrom back-to-back nights. And, Judge got the best of Scherzer. It is what it is. He hit a monster home run.
That ball was crushed. And Judge that was a couple he had in the series.
Yeah, Judge is back to hitting home runs. Listen, they played bad for a month. They were the worst team in baseball for a month. I get the panic. And now, hopefully for the Yankee fans, they got that out of their system. and now they can just roll, into the division win. They're gonna win that division. The Orioles are fighting tooth and nail to stay in the wild card race. The Blue Jays are right there. Yeah. The Rays are right there. It's gonna be an American League East centric type of playoffs, and it's gonna be good. But the Yankees will win the NL East. Oh,
off his foot.
So we're watching this Mets game. The guy's on second now, but. So as I said, the Yankees, they have Cortez today went on the injured list. He has an injured groin. Is that big? No, not really. Because like I said, these games are not very big.
They're probably being just a little bit more cautious at this point. And now knowing they can shut him down now and still have that build-up period right before the postseason. I think if it was more of a race, you might see them not put him all the way onto the injured list and just maybe skip a start or get to wherever it is. But that's,
and they are in Oakland. They were in Oakland last night, and the stat of the week that I'm going to give you here is last night the Yankees in Oakland drew their biggest crowd of the season. Let's just say this: there's more people at the Little League World Series games. They had a crowd of 10,000. Last week they were playing
biggest crowd of the season.
10,000 people. Now last week the Oakland A's had a crowd of 2,100. 2,100 for a Major League Baseball game.
And how many is that? Live were there, or is that paid attendance?
It's got to be live were there.
I don't think you're right. I think that counts corporate sales.
The A's, I mean, what they're doing out there is just a disgrace. I mean, I don't know. It's almost impossible. People have tried to hear with the Knicks, boycott. We're not going to the games. We're not doing this stuff. We're going to boycott the Knicks, and it just doesn't work.
Billy Beane gets more people at a tryout when he's trying to fill his bullpen every year.
And what they do, and the fans have just decided to turn their backs on the team because they're good. Like when they're good, they sell out like that Oakland Coliseum. They sell out when they were going to the playoffs against the Yankees those years, and they'd make the wild card and they lose.
Yeah, but you're not going to commit to when that whole team just gets sold to somebody else.
Yeah, but we've gone to games in the 90s when a lot of the players playing tomorrow.
Yeah,
the teams were as bad as Oakland is.
Yeah.
And there was still 25,000 people. Now it's New York, but it's also
New
also
York.
L.A.
It's different.
It's right there.
No, I understand that, but I don't know.
L.A. is this notorious, not a great sports town. They're front runners, stuff like that. So there it is. The Mets, on the other hand, the Mets are in a dogfight. The Mets are in a dogfight, fighting for their lives. They got the Braves right on their tails, who win every freaking night.
Yeah.
The Braves are playing the Cardinals right now. I'm not positive what the score is. It was scoreless last I saw. And the Braves just keep winning, and you never expected it was going to be easy to knock off the champs. It's not supposed to be easy to knock off the champs, but it's the Braves, and that kills us because we're all deathly afraid of this race coming down to the last weekend of the season in Atlanta because we all know what
if you look at what's going on every game with the Mets especially, it's come down to their bullpen. Every game. They've got the starting pitching, even on their worst days when we say, oh, Scherzer had a bad day, and that they're down like 3-2, or they're tied 3-3, or it's, 4 something. When you are you're down a run or down 2 runs, you need to be able to hold it there. When you have such a good offense that can come back and win in these late games, which the Mets can, these guys, let me tell you, Mikey Givens just looked awful. Right there.
Awful. Yeah, Michael Givens is awful. Michael Givens is not going to be getting any.
So how are you letting anybody besides for Lugo, Ottavino, or obviously Diaz, but even then, like, what are you going to do? Trevor May? I'm sorry, you're going to have to figure out. Lugo looks better. Ottavino's pitching well, but at some point, you can't just bring guys in like.
Yeah, but
Mikey Givens is terrible.
Michael Givens, but everybody has a back end of the bullpen where there's just 2 or 3 guys who are long relief. The game's over. The Mets, the game that I want to talk about as Diaz gets out of the 9th inning, so the game will go to the bottom of the 9th, 6-6. The game I want to talk about, and it was a signature game for this team, was the game in Philadelphia. They had the kid starting. He just didn't have it. You almost felt bad for him. He gave up, 3-run homer in the first. Before you even sat down in your seat, it was 4-0. And what the Mets did is Buck was kind of punting that game away. He was willing to, okay, listen, we took 3 or 4. We played 1 million games in these last 2 weeks, a bunch of doubleheaders. We're going to leave him in there, and we're going to punt this game away. We're not going to kill our bullpen. And what happened was he settled down for 2 innings. Then in the 4th, he gave up another 3-run homer, 7-4. After the Mets had come back for him, the Mets kept coming back. And they ended up winning that game 10-9. with 2 home runs in the 9th inning. Was it Connor that hit? Connor hit 2 home runs, one in the 7th, one in the 9th.
Yeah, that was
Nimmo
huge.
hit 1. That's the kind of team this is.
Connor had a big double off the wall just before.
And the Mets had the kid. What was it? Was Fisher? Was that his name? His first major. He was a banker. He was a banker a year ago, and he came and he gave him 3 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. Huge innings. Because that game the Mets were willing to lose that game. Just you could tell by the way that they kept the pitcher in. The guy on his first start, he gave.
It was Nate Fisher. Yeah, he came in. He gave him 3 innings score like that. He was so hyped up. And
I haven't seen him since.
Right, no, because Micah Givens had to come in tonight. We had to bring Micah Givens in. We had a couple of choices: Lugo, Ottavino, or Micah Givens, or
Fisher,
or a banker off the street who doesn't give up runs.
Yeah, I mean, but you're gonna have.
How do you? First of all, Micah Givens can't pitch. How do you think he is at finance? He's probably not good at either.
No, I think he was like a teller.
See,
I don't think he was like in finance.
He was in something.
That's like saying you're a sanitation engineer, but you're a janitor. Like he was not in finance. He was a bank teller.
He was in finance.
Brett's writing resumes over here for him. If you need a resume, Brett will make it look good. Him and our other friend.
Into the financial world with a job in Nebraska.
He was a bank teller, people. He was a bank teller. Yep. And he came and he gave the Mets 3 important innings, though. That was a big game. Because then they went right into the Yankees and they lost the 2.
As a banker, he did come he was in Citizens Bank Park when he came in. And he locked it down in the bank.
He did. Listen, he ran the bank.
He was the finance guy.
He was the bank manager that day.
Finance guy locking it down. Put that one in the vault.
Oh, Brett will be here all week, folks.
Yep.
He'll be here all week. So, Vogelback is coming up in the 9th. Now, Vogelback, what do you think about Vogelback? I said he's a folk hero type of player. He runs at the balls and they go 400 feet. He's not really an everyday player. He has no position.
No, it's a DH.
He can't run.
Yes, this is an argument. We're not even going to get into it.
He's got a hurt groin, though.
Now he can't run.
He can't run.
Prior to that, he was fast.
He can't run. He runs into it every once in a while. And he hits it 400 feet. But is he an everyday player? I think he's going to be kind of a platoon guy off the bench in the playoffs. What do you think?
It's an exact setup. They got him and Ruffs very specific. When it is going to be a righty, it's going to be Vogelback. Every single time. I mean, in the DH spot, let me tell you, they're not going to even switch it. When it comes down to the playoffs, besides for when Alonso wants a day off or whatever else, it's Vogelback, and it's rough when there's a righty. That's the way it's just going to be.
And it also looks like Showalter's kind of favoring Nito behind the plate, and then McCann's going to kind of fade into the back. Listen, McCann's no good. McCann's an automatic out all season. I'm sick of McCann. I'm sick of seeing him come up to the plate.
It's a weak point for us now. Let me tell you, the catching spot is going to be, and I know we have the future of the, great. We have a rookie catcher coming up next year. We don't even know if he's going to be our catcher next year.
He's going to be the catcher next year. Next year, he's the catcher. Starting next year.
I imagine that, and that's why they didn't go after Wilson Contreras at the deadline. I understand that. But right now, let me tell you, a guy like Wilson Contreras would be really nice behind the plate in so many different ways, and bat, and just the energy in his club, because that position is like a pitching spot right now. I'd rather have Jacob deGrom come up on any given day than have to watch them bat.
It's an automatic out. And now what?
Or double play is even worse. You know what it is? I have a big problem. Is not with the outs. I'll give you struck out, okay, and now someone good's coming up, and we got Nimmo coming up. Yeah, but instead, we got a double play, and we're out of the inning most of the time.
Now I would hit McCann 8th. I like the double leadoff guy, the 9th into Nimmo. Maybe even like a McNeil into Nimmo. And McNeil's another one. He was struggling early. McNeil has really come. He's 3rd in the league in batting. He's gonna challenge for the batting title. He's a batting title type of player. He finally stopped trying to hit the home run.
The batting title means, now, one, it's Goldschmidt who's going to run away this year. But I'm just saying in general, to be 3rd in the league and he's batting whatever it is now, I don't know, 310. The people don't even hit 300 anymore. You can't even find players in baseball besides for maybe 5, 6, 7, or 8 that hit over 300 in a year.
Now they're a bad team, but here's for an example. I went to a couple weeks ago. The Mets, the Reds were in town, and I was at a couple of the games, and I was watching those. Everybody's on the interstate in the Braves. They have Joey Votto's hitting 240. Everybody else is hitting 170, 180.
260 is considered good. Look at the guy who just got the contract right now. You want to talk about numbers? This kid, Rodriguez.
J-Rod,
right? What did he get? He got some. He bats 269. He hit 20 homers, 23 stolen bases. 21 years old.
Those are good numbers, Brett.
Those are great numbers. 269. Are they okay? 17 years, 500 million.
They don't look at that as much. They look at OPS.
I understand. What I'm saying is you can't even find a 300 hitter these days. They barely exist. And you're right. McNeil, as a guy who is a pure hitter, and if he decides to stick with the same type of thing he's doing, will hit 310, 315. He will have the 1 year where he hits 340. Watch. McNeil will have it. He'll have it in him.
Well, he had it a couple years ago. He hit like 330.
Definitely. But where that puts him at, winning the batting title.
Yes.
And depending on where he is in the lineup at that year and how good the team is, that could put also in contention with other things going
MVP
on.
Types of but now, I love McNeil. I love McNeil and I love Nimmo. Nimmo and McNeil are old-time ball players. We've said this before. McNeil choking up on the bat.
Yeah.
Nimmo sprinting out walks, sprinting the second on a walk. Like, they're just old-time ball players. They could have played in like the 30s or the 50s. They kind of have the look of that anyway. See, there's Vogelbach. Look at him running down the line as he grounds out the second to lead off the ninth inning for the Mets.
But what kind of contracts do you give guys like that? Like McNeil's a little bit older than Nimmo, and you look at it and you go, these guys are getting these long-term deals, and they're locking up guys because they want them to be, on their team for life. They're getting actually this guy. I mean, if he performs and they want to, it's going to be this monstrous deal. But down the road, these might be looked at as discounts.
I think the Mariners made out like bandits.
They
on
did
this
because
deal.
they have the option. They're the ones who they have 8 years at like $200 million, which is a big thing. But they have the option at that point to take him for another 8 years if they want to, or just say forget it. Now at that point, exactly what's going on.
This kid just made life-changing money. He's set for life. His family is set for life. But in 8 or 10 years, he's going to still be in this $200 million range, $30 million a year type of situation. And there's going to be $1 billion contract.
He was 3 years away from being a $50 million a year player.
And there's 3
years, 3 more of these seasons, and not even.
By the time the option comes up, there's going to be $1 billion player.
Yeah,
$1 billion contract.
And even in arbitration, he would have made the 20 anyway every year along the way, in his deal.
Arbitration,
just like Alonso got, or just like Judge got.
Yeah.
And it'll even be more. So he actually, if he just, he's saving up. One, you're also locking yourself into Seattle for up to them to do what they want to do with you, which is, I don't know, is that what you want?
Yeah, I don't. And what is he? And at 21 to sign?
Is that what you want? Like that's an A-Rod situation.
I mean, maybe
that's like what A-Rod did, and they handcuffed themselves over, in Seattle. And again, they were on a team with, that should have won, won everything.
Seattle's a small. I mean, they had Griffey.
But after that, it was just A-Rod.
Yes. But I mean, Griffey's actually going to be the hitting coach for Team USA, the World Baseball Classic, which I almost care less. I almost would rather watch preseason football than the World Baseball Classic. I don't know why. Do you get into that?
The last time I was into it, it was David Wright on the team.
I can't.
And he hit a big home run in the championship, I think, or something like that. But I wasn't into it even then. But I just remember it.
That's not a big home run. Do you ever see the David Wright World Baseball Classic home run? No.
I think any David Wright home run in my life was a big home run. I'm pretty sure.
You're one of those David Wright fanboys.
Listen, man, with that neck hitting all those home runs, it's very impressive. Nobody's ever hit as many home runs with such a bad neck.
Do you think Keith Hernandez should be in the Hall of Fame?
I do. I think someone who went and wins the batting title and wins an MVP and won World Series in multiple cities is someone who. With everything that's gone on, with all the craziness in steroid era and baseball and all the other people who aren't making it, and like when you talk about baseball purists and guys who are baseball and really encompass baseball, and then you talk about the broadcasting and what he means to the sport, those are guys you want enshrined in Cooperstown.
I think he might. I think he might get in. Now
he will get in.
Marte just got hit. The Mets have gotten about 4 or 5 guys hit tonight, and they lead the world.
He said my bad though at the end.
Yeah, because he's hit 3 guys. Bart has hit 2 guys.
My bad.
Yeah, I guess. When we talk tomorrow, we're going to bring up Ed Lynch was involved in a famous brawl with the Cubs,
and he's a big dude.
Yeah, he's like 6'6". Yeah,
monster. Yeah, he'll beat you up. And then he'll throw it 90 miles an hour at your head.
No, but he won't throw it 90. He'll throw it 70, 84.
No, but you want when you're mad?
Yeah, I get maybe.
You're mad. We're not talking about trying to hit a corner.
Another thing I wanted to bring up here before we forget is Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols is on a tear. He has hit about 8 or 9 home runs in the last 2.5 weeks. He is challenging for 700.
Yeah.
Is he going to get there? I listen.
He's gonna pass A-Rod. Let's pass A-Rod first. Let's get rid of that
he's going to
guy.
pass A-Rod. I think everybody's got to be rooting for Pujols. I don't think Pujols gets the credit he deserves. Now, of course, everybody knows he's a great player. I think he's one of the greatest players to ever play the game. And I don't think people give him that credit. He's going to be up there. Yeah. There's only 3 people who have ever hit.
I will tell you, when he signed that contract with the Angels, I had no faith that he was going to be worth it for the first 3 years of that contract. And again, he faded. We know that. Not worth the money maybe might not be it. But let me tell you, the guy's playing good baseball. He's a good DH.
Yeah, and he's
on a competitive team. We're not talking about the guy's not playing on a team just up there taking hacks in games that don't matter. He's in important at bats.
Yeah, and when you're talking 700 home runs, but you take out the steroid guys, and it's only Ruth and Aaron.
Yeah,
I mean, that's it. Pujols, Ruth, and Aaron. I don't know. I hope. I'm rooting. I'm rooting for him.
Me too.
I'm hoping he gets there.
You said it wasn't going to happen. No chance this year.
No,
earlier.
It didn't look.
And
like
I was,
I mean, he went on a 8 home run and 10 home run in 2.5 weeks.
I'm just saying, like, typically when you say things like that, most likely it happens.
Yeah, and that's. So you're welcome, Pujols.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I'd like a mention maybe in the Hall of Fame thing, but so there's that, and then what else we got? We got some basketball news. August basketball news.
Oh,
the Knicks, the Nets. The first thing is the Nets.
Nets.
You got Durant, who now all of a sudden is buddy with the Nets again. He's going to come back.
Well, don't forget, just recently he was saying, it's either me or Steve Nash, the coach, and get rid of the GM, and he wanted Kyrie either signed or gone. Or
great diving catch by the Rockies. So anyway, you guys are all watching this, not live, but yeah,
but he, and so Durant wants, he wanted everybody out. He wanted to be traded. He wanted everything in the world. All of a sudden, I don't know what it was. I think he realized that there was no good trades. Nobody really wanted him for what he thought he was worth. And all of a sudden, it's no, everything's fine. You can keep the coach. I don't need to be traded.
Yeah, because the Nets said no. He's like, I want this, and they go no. And then he was like, okay.
It's about time that these guys can't just say where they want to go or do what they want to do, and teams aren't going to take bad deals.
No, yeah, because you know why? Because they're like, what have you done?
Yeah.
Why are we going to do all that for you? We could do all that. We could keep whatever, and we could lose. We could get swept.
Terrible.
We could get swept in the first round of the playoffs with or without you.
Yeah, and now we're going to have to watch it. No, we're going to have to watch the circus again this year. They're going to get to play all their games together, but it's just going to be Kyrie and Durant. And
they better win.
They're not going to win. They don't have anybody else. They don't have a supporting cast.
No, I'm saying like somewhere along this kind, it's more than in the year.
They are not going to win this year.
I agree with you.
They are not. They're going to be a playoff team. They're not going to be good enough to have guys come off the bench or have enough money even left over to really have defense guys. Listen, I guess the only wild card in the whole situation is, does Ben Simmons magically show up to play basketball for the first time in 3 years? Show up for the first time in 3 years, and all of a sudden he's a great basketball player. Because that's what they're banking on.
He clearly lied and was like, I don't want to be. Listen, the Nets have a bunch of guys who are great players who want nothing to do with playing basketball. They just want to be rich celebrities and do. Kyrie likes to do the movements, the Black Lives Matter and everything like that. And that's fine. But you can't take days off from work. I can be involved in social movements, but I can't call work and be like, I'm going to a march today, I'm not coming into work.
Well, I would like to see if he takes any personal time, like this year, instead of, because last year it was COVID time. He just got to take off all the home games. Yeah. And he just was like nice and easy, and it was his like built-in days off. Whereas, here we go, the Mets on the way home, throw the plate.
A walk-off win for the New York Mets.
Bottom of the ninth. I thought they were going to blow it.
They go for the sweep tomorrow. Pete Alonso with the walk-off single.
We love it. Another RBI.
The outside of the infield. He was the first man to 100 RBIs. So the Mets 7-6 winners tonight. They have, listen, they're going to beat up on the Rockies. I think the old-timers teams might beat the Rockies. You give them the lineups, Brett. We got just real quick. We'll give you the lineups for the old timers. But wait, no. You know what? Let's hold that off. Let's go to the Knicks first because we were talking basketball. Donovan Mitchell. Now the Knicks had the nerve to put a report out there that we were turned off by how much they wanted for Donovan Mitchell. You know what, Knicks? Give me a break. We're turned off by you.
Did you hear what
they offered? The Knicks.
So
I don't even watch
supposedly the offer that was rejected by Utah was for Obi Toppin and 5 first-rounders.
All right. Listen, it's going to take a lot to get him. Okay?
That's not, and listen, what it is it's not.
Don't put Barrett in there. That's it. Everybody but Barrett.
But that's what they want. They want Barrett, and now there's guys on the Knicks side who were in administration this week saying, okay,
we said they turned down the deal and it wasn't Barrett.
It wasn't. They did not. No, they turned down the deal. It wasn't Barrett. They don't want. They want Barrett. That's who they want. They want Barrett.
You're not getting Barrett.
Well, let me. Some of the guys are talking that they might be willing to deal him now. Let me tell you that he may be involved. And
I have
it's gonna
no
be
doubt that they're gonna deal Barrett. But I think it's outrageous that they do.
I think you're right.
Just because they're the Knicks.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell. He's a top player. Is he the player? Can you win a championship with Donovan Mitchell? No. Not just Donovan Mitchell.
Not just Donovan Mitchell. No, you need a sporting cast. But I truly believe that they want to get rid of him. They're not just going to sit here and let another season go by where they're not going to get it right. So I do believe there's a deal to be made. Hopefully the Knicks are doing the right thing.
They're waiting them out.
Let's see. Someone's going to win, or another team's going to hop in and say, you know what, the Knicks pissed us off enough. We're going to go to some other team.
That's what's going to happen.
There's a good chance at that happening. And Donovan Mitchell doesn't want anything. He wants to be here. The only thing is he wants to be here.
Yes, because he can do a trade.
It's the only thing that's saving the Knicks right now. It isn't the Knicks.
The Knicks, you know what? The Knicks, they've already pissed him off because they were willing to do it without Barrett. Now they're like, you know what?
But he doesn't want to come here for a losing team either. He wants to come here for a winner. So he isn't dumb enough. He does want them to maintain whatever can give him the best chance at winning.
Does he have a no trade? I don't know this. I don't know the answer to this question. Does he have a no trade clause?
I don't know.
So then, because if he doesn't, then too bad.
Yeah,
we're trading you for whoever we decide to trade you for.
He might.
Because you're right. The players have too much going on. They too much power in that league. And
they all have too much power. You look, you got Mims over for the Jets asking for a trade now this week.
Giants, Jets. You got Mims. Hey, listen, he's been a disappointment. He hasn't been very good for the Jets.
Yeah,
the Jets now have one of the better wide receiving cores that they've had in a long, long time, since the Corbett years probably, and. They don't. Donovan Mitchell, listen to me. Mims, get rid of him. Get what you can. But the problem is you got him as a second rounder, right? Second rounder last year, and now you're gonna get him. Now you're gonna get a fourth or fifth rounder for him.
Not even second rounder in 2020.
2020.
So no, he's been around, and again, you're gonna get exactly that.
You're gonna get a fourth or fifth rounder, which is right. Is it really worth it? But you want to keep him and have him poison the locker room because he's moping around and miserable. Who knows?
Right. I mean, you look in that, and this is even what Salah said. The Jets coach comes out and he says, hey, we have guys like Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, and then we draft Garrett Wilson. Those guys are getting first dibs, is what he says. So he pretty much says he understands. Like, you're not the number one guy when you thought you were going to get drafted. And that's because you didn't step up.
You're not good enough.
You didn't step up and you're not good enough, and that's fine. So now you want out. Well, instead of, this is football. That guy, if he practices hard enough and plays enough, he's going to get into one of those spots. Those guys, no way all three guys are perfectly healthy all year long and everything's there. Now, if you want to be good enough, you got to step up and play good enough, and then you can get traded for something decent, and the team's going to want you. But he's going to end up out of here.
Yeah, he's out. He's going to be out of here. I'd cut him. I'd get out.
Yeah.
Now what? Now, speaking of New York wide receivers, did you see what Odell Beckham tweeted this week?
I did.
Somebody tweeted him, OBJ, we need you right now, ASAP, get back here. And he goes, we'll see. I always wanted to win a championship in that city. Now, first of all, stop it. The Giants are winning a long way from more than Odell Beckham Jr. from winning a championship. But I don't even want to. Do you want him back? Would you want him back? I don't really care. I'm indifferent. He's coming off all these surgeries.
I would. If I was the Giants, I'd trade anybody decent. If you had a decent guy, I'd just trade them all, and it would just be Daniel Jones, 0-17, first round pick for the next 2 years. 2 years. Give him 2 years of first round picks, and then we can regroup.
Now, I had heard. I didn't realize this until about 2 days ago that college football starts tomorrow. Now, Brett, I came here and I was like, "Well, college football starts tomorrow." It's always the week before
the NFL.
Week 1.
It's not week 1.
And you said, "What is it? It's week what?"
Week 0.
Are they really calling it week 0?
0.
What is this, an ESPN thing? They're just trying to promote a couple games. Are they bad games?
Yeah. Well, they're like, we're going to give you a game in Ireland that nobody wants to see.
The fact that Frank didn't bring it up, it means they're probably bad games.
Yeah, no. So there's not, and then you don't have any of the big. I think there's 11 games or something like that. They're pretty much saying we're going to throw some garbage at you this week,
and
so
you're
going to watch it. You're definitely going to watch it. And next week, the good teams are playing, so that'll be like you're definitely going to watch that too.
We didn't talk about it all, but I mean, with this college football, I mean, they're basically getting closer and closer to just one super conference. Yeah. It's basically now the SEC and the Pac,
the Big Ten,
and the Big 100.
Yeah, the Big 100.
Because it's It's just ridiculous. All the other schools are folding at it. All the other conferences are going to end up folding. They got, they're trying to patch something together, but they're not going to do anything. It's going to be just one. We're probably 10 years, I would say, away from one super conference, and that's just
right.
it,
and then that
football.
Conference gets the TV rights for that whole deal. And if that conference is that big, you are college football.
Well, they are college football anyway.
No, but like if you
SEC is college
right,
football.
but if that conference is the one where there might be a point where all anybody cares about, forget about it. If they don't make this playoff good enough. Eventually, it's just going to be, let's get the best teams in the one conference, and we're going to have this conference championship, and that's going to be college football.
Because even the NCAA is folding, basically, because the NCAA lost all its power now because they pay the players.
Right.
So they lost all their power. They can't do anything there. They would always, and the NCAA is dirty with their garbage and their money grabs and everything. Listen, college football, I'm not big into college football just because there are teams, I don't like a sport where you could go into the season, you could win every game, and you have no chance to win the championship.
Yeah.
And there's 100 schools like that. 100 schools like that. College basketball, if you win every game, you will win the national championship. That's
Definitely.
just how I like it. And college football's good. I like watching it sometimes. They're good games.
It is, and then it comes down to a choice of who's going to be the most watched. That's who they're going to pick when it comes down to. We have a decision that is kind of subjective.
It's a money grab.
Okay, we're going to pick whoever's going to be the best choice versus this
That's
one.
why,
not who's the best matchup, not who real fans would really want to see. It's who we're going to watch or best spot for the country.
They hate it when like one of these smaller schools has an undefeated season. They gotta put them in the playoff.
Oh yeah.
Because they're probably going to get slaughtered, first of all.
Yes.
And like Boise State doesn't happen all the time. That that happened. That was a one-time thing. That's why it was so special. Now, when does Notre Dame cave and join one of these two conferences?
It's soon. It's soon. So they will be.
Because Notre Dame's another greedy son of a bitch school because they're just doing it for the NBC television money. That's the only reason they hold out on these conferences. That's the only reason they're independent.
Definitely. Because that's the only thing they're independent in. They're in the Big Ten and everything else and all the other stuff.
No, they're not. They're in the ACC.
The ACC. But they had moved, all their other stuff, and they were like, we're just going to stay independent for football. But I think it's happening soon. So everybody's going to be in those conferences because that's where
they're going to have to.
There's going to be so much money because there used to be no money over in those, and all the money was NBC.
Well, yeah.
So now there's just as much money over there that Notre Dame's not going to lose that much.
But what's NBC going to do? They're going to just keep trying to throw money because Notre Dame still gets big ratings. People watch Notre Dame. Notre Dame's still America's team as far as college football goes.
These days with everything is that everybody gets a select number of games. Amazon Prime's going to get your games, and NBC's going to get their share of games, and ESPN's going to get their share of games, and it really is just going to be there's a huge pot of money for all these college teams. Notre Dame has come back down to earth with who gets what, as compared to now, and it's coming.
Now, just to remind everybody, tomorrow we're gonna be back with another show. Tomorrow at it's not going to be on 365 Sportscast like this one is. It's going to be just a download. It should be ready for download. We're going to put it up. The goal is to put it up around noon, so you could listen to the show right into the old timers festivities. Mets fans, go to our website, hit the blue floating microphone, and give us who you're looking forward to see. Some Mets memories. We're going to do the whole thing. So now, what else do we have here? Interesting story in the NFL. Brett's going to give it to you. The Buffalo Bills punter.
Oh Buffalo Bills punter. Another NFL guys just cannot, no matter what, stay out of trouble. Buffalo Bills punter, Matt Araiza. All right, so he is former San Diego State punter.
Good punter.
Yeah, they showed him like he was actually they were showing him kicking an 80-something yard punts the other day. The Bills just named him the starting punter. They just got rid of their backup punter. They're committed.
Which is going to be absurd once you hear the story. Go.
Because he was just accused of gang rape on a 17-year-old girl outside of at a party at San Diego State. Now he's accused of raping a 17-year-old girl, and then after bring her inside to where a lineman for San Diego State and a defensive end also did the exact same thing.
So they were passing her around.
Yes.
Now, what now, is she saying it was consensual? She was drunk?
She was drunk. She was underage.
Consensual?
I don't know.
You don't know. There's no now, here's the crazy part. Brett, tell them what they did about the
So, listen, so now the girl the next day goes to the cops, tells them what happens, and now at some point later, the cops and the sheriff department decide to call up and do like almost like a sting on the guy, and they had the girl call and say, "Listen, let's tell me, remember when we did this? Remember when we did that?" And he comes out and he admits it. He admits, "Oh yeah, no, yes," and you should also says to the girl, "You should probably get an STD test," which is, I mean.
You think, listen, you get passed around the San Diego State football team, you want to get an STD test, I would say.
It's crazy, though. Let me tell you. The problem is the Bills have known there's a civil suit against this guy, and there's a lot going on these days. If you look at the NFL and
it sucks for the girl because she can't sue the NFL.
Well, the NFL can't do anything. The NFL has no rights or no anything,
no jurisdiction
where they're going to do any discipline to him because it happened prior to being with the NFL.
But the NFL is a private company. Can't the NFL just say, "Listen, we don't like we found this out. We're going to suspend you for X amount of games"? Is that a union thing?
I don't know. I guess does that work if you're convicted of it? Now, if it's separate, we're not going to deal with it while you're alleged, but you're convicted, or maybe something like that. But
that's got to be in the collective bargaining agreement, because otherwise they're a private company. The NFL's a private company. They do what they want.
But
they're not discriminating by.
You know who's a private company? The Bills are a private company.
No, but the Bills.
The Bills are an organization who's now decided. They knew the information. They knew this information. They had 2 punters to choose from.
And today they said, "Here's our guy."
They go, "We will go with the guy who kicks 80 yards
and rapes
and has accused of raping a girl, gang style."
Yeah, I mean he admitted to it. They got him on a trip.
He admitted
it was basically
having sex. I believe he has refuted those comments, which are actual words. He said.
Oh, they got the tapes. I'm sure they're going to be leaked.
But he's
the tapes
backing off.
Leaked.
He's backing off, just so you know.
In the next, it's a fake punt, huh? It's a fake punt.
Well, this punter they chose now did not play in their preseason game tonight, and they had the quarterback punting. So
was it Flutie?
If they wish it was Flutie, Flutie would actually do pretty well. He drop kick one down there like 60 yards. But no, that we're going to see what the NFL does. That's a kind of a crazy story. It's not looking good. And honestly,
the Bills
it's on the Bills.
Terrible.
The Bills made a choice after they knew this suit was here. They knew the details, and they decided we're going to get rid of the backup, and this is going to be our guy. They got nobody else on the roster to punt.
I mean, he basically got caught in like a Chris Hansen situation, right? Like on the phone call.
Yeah,
like they offer him cookies and stuff. He was like,
"Hey, remember me?
Come on down, come on in." I mean, listen, he's got to go. You can't have him on your team. The punter. Well, listen, the kick. They NFL teams will dump kickers after they miss a field goal on Monday mornings, all over the place. It's not that big of a deal. Teams don't punt as much anyway anymore. You can't have him on the team. The public relations hit is terrible.
That's a tough one.
They're going to be a good team with or without this guy as their punter, right or wrong?
It was like 80-something yards. Did you see it?
You're a terrible person, Brett. You're a terrible person.
No, I'm with you. I think he's out. I think he's out. But the Bills, this is the Bills. Listen, this isn't me thinking that. This is the voice of the Bills front office. They're like, they're just 80-something yards. They're like, we just got to keep him.
I mean,
that's what they decided. They were like, that's worth it. And I'm with you. I think the NFL should discipline them. They should decide what they're doing. But
yeah, I think they should discipline him. I think they should. But anyway, so the Mets win 7-6, a walk-off single by Pete Alonso, bottom of the ninth. This was a back-and-forth game. The Mets really shouldn't have been this close. The Mets had a 3-0 lead. We kind of tuned out, me and Brett, when we were watching it here. We figured, it's the Rockies. But they came back. Give the Rockies credit. They got up. They got some runs against Michael Givens, who's terrible. We both agree he's going to be terrible. The Braves 5-1 leaders in the 7th inning over the Cardinals. So, again, the Braves never lose.
Yep.
Yankees scoreless, bottom 3 in Oakland in front of about 38 people.
Big show tomorrow.
Big show tomorrow. It's around 12 o'clock is going to be the download. We'll put it out there on the
Mets
social media.
Old-Timers Day.
Old-Timers Day. Ed Lynch.
Yep.
We got give him the lineup. No, we don't have time for the lineups. Do we give him one of the lineups? Who's starting pitching? Who's the pitchers?
Dwight Gooden. We got Eduardo Alfonso, Tim Tuffle, Cliff Floyd, Mike Piazza, Todd Zeal, Todd Pratt, Kevin Elster, Benny Akbayani, Jay Payton, and Dwight Gooden. Then you go Jose Reyes, Mookie Wilson, Daniel Murphy, Howard Johnson, Lee Mazzilli, Robin Ventura, Andy Chavez, Bartolo Colon pitching.
We'll talk to you tomorrow, 12 o'clock, everybody. See ya.